back again at the Hall of History, and we're going to look at the Westward Push. East, really looking at the into the Great Plains east of the Mississippi. Question one here is on your quiz right at the end of this short lecture. What do you think this painting is portraying, and what do you notice or find most interesting about this? And so you can answer that after the lecture. Well, they're pulling and pushing forces that really got people to move out west. And we're going to do just a brief look, and we're going to expound upon these when we get into our class as we review this. One definitely is gold. Gold is discovered in Colorado. You get up into Lead, the gold mines there. People want to get rich. There's no doubt about it. Gold later on was discovered in the Black Hills of North Dakota, which kind of really eventually led to Custer's demise. But we'll cover that a little bit later. But definitely people, wanted to get rich. The other one is land, the Homestead Act of 1862. And it says you could have 160 acres of land as long as you would live on it and cultivate it for 5 years. And it's really interesting to notice here that 400 to 600,000 families moved west during this time frame. And most of this we're looking at the post-Civil War era here. Exodusters, African Americans who moved into Kansas. Many of these came out of the South. It was very cheap to get land out here. And after the Civil War, with the defeat of the Confederacy, there wasn't much work. And so head west, young man, and that's what many of these African American families did. There's also another force pulling settlers west, and that was transportation. After 1869, you could ride from coast to coast by train at 50 miles per hour, where a covered wagon, you could only cover 15 miles per day. And your question number 2 of this quiz after the lecture is how many days in a covered wagon, how many hours in a train would it be to go from coast to coast? Put a little math into here. But definitely, with the advent of the train moving out west, it was a much easier journey than it was before. We'll take a look a little bit later at the Oregon Trail and the Santa Fe Trail and some of these other popular trails. There was also some forces pushing settlers out west. And as we mentioned before, the end of the Civil War. After the Civil War, there was many soldiers who had no homes to go back to, north and south. The African Americans who were the former slaves, they had nothing really to go back to, and so West gave them a new opportunity. And so many of these families moved out west. Many of the former soldiers, again as I mentioned, both north and south, moved out west to find their fame and fortune. Overpopulation in some areas. Some of the bigger cities, especially out east, were overpopulated. People were living in just real dense areas, slums, if you will. And so what you find is a lot of, especially Irish and German people, started moving out west. Again, the chance to make a better life for themselves and their families. And you can see a couple of the pictures below here. It was relatively inexpensive to get out there, out west, and start a new life for yourself. And that is where we're going to end up today. Not a very long lecture, but these topics we're going to talk about in a little more detail in class.